picture?
Yeah, let me. Short, ball, fade, and do you want that slash on the side?
Yeah, he does.
All right, we're gonna do it, man.
Just want to let you know, so he has a birthmark here. You see here where he has the white hair?
Yeah.
It goes a little more there.
Okay, cool. Is it more like on the bottom or is it in the middle?
It's just like this area here.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, no problem. Let's do it.
YouTube, what is going on, guys? You guys heard the consultation, and what I think I got from it was that he wanted like a mid to high fade. That was a mid fade to him, but to me in the picture it looked like a high fade, so that just tells me I got some room to fade. So what we're starting with on the top is that initial guideline that's going to create the length for the rest of the cut. Then I'm going to take horizontal sections, as you see, and use that middle guide to keep a consistent length all the way through. Once we've done that, we'll go ahead and pull the hair at the ridge out to the side, keeping everything squared, and we'll be cutting that length to connect with the top. Now I'm focusing again pretty much the top to the parietal ridge, and then we'll do clipper work that'll connect to all this shear work. What I decided to do at the very end here was to bevel the corners. So on this side I'm doing the same thing that I did on the other side, but one of the things that I want you guys to notice was after we connected the top to the sides, I did come back and try to cut corners off to make it more of a layered look at the parietal ridge. And the parietal ridge is the curvature where the side starts to connect to the top. If you don't know what the parietal ridge is, hopefully you do. I mean, you've been watching hopefully you subscribed and you've been watching my videos. So you guys can see I'm starting to round it now, kind of going 90 degrees almost, but not really. All right, I promised him I'd shout him out. So shout out to Kyrie, the young man in my chair. I appreciate you. Right here, you can see I'm looking for those corners and just kind of slightly nipping those corners off. And he has very coarse straight hair, so there's gonna be a technique towards the end that I'm gonna share with you guys that kind of speed things through. All right, so we're grabbing our number 2 guard. It's all the way close, and we're going and debulking everything, preparing it for a bald fade. Now if you notice, I'm definitely coming off of of his head shape as opposed to going into all that shear work that we did. Above that number 2, we'll do our number 3. And this is just to help me kind of fade into the top. Now, you guys remember when his dad was telling me about his birthmark? You're going to be able to see that birthmark throughout this entire cut. Look how dark it is in that area. As soon as I seen this, I already knew this side was going to be a struggle. So we're gonna bald him out to begin the fade process. And when I say struggle, I mean like there's no way you're gonna get a perfect blend on his right side, but we're gonna do our best to kind of detail it and give it the illusion that it's a nicer blend than what it really is. Like the technique we're gonna use on his right side, if we did it on anyone else who didn't have a birthmark, it would look like he has a bald spot or patch in the middle of his head. But because it's so dark in that birthmark area, it's not gonna look like that. All right, so our next step is the blade all the way open. And then from here, we're just gonna start fading down. So pretty much what I did was I created guidelines so that I can fade down and I can keep track of where I'm at as I'm fading down. So 1.5 guard all the way open, 1.5 guard closed, and then we'll follow up beneath that with the 1 guard open. Then we'll do the 1 guard closed beneath that. And you can see the blend coming together already. So here we are with the number 1 guard closed, and it's almost gonna take that guideline away. But I have a system. I'm gonna trust my system. I'm gonna use my half guard to really diminish that line. And we are pretty almost done with the fade. The last part of this fade is to take that bottom line out. And so beneath this half guard, what are we gonna do? If you said we're gonna go close and meet it in the middle, you would be right. So you could just go blade open and close it and fade down, continue to fade down. But I like to close it and then open it little by little until my blade is all the way open. And typically, boom, you'll have it, you'll be done. It'll be faded. And this is obviously before we detail. So this is the steps we're gonna do all the way around. And so his dad is a barber, and they came all the way down from North Carolina. They moved from New York to North Carolina, was there for a little bit, and they were going to Miami, and decided to stop by the shop. All right, so you guys can see I'm starting to do the slash, and we're gonna do a simple clean line. And just like you saw in the picture, it gets wider towards the beginning, and then it starts to slim towards the point. Okay, so I didn't make it too thick of a line, because it's gonna look thicker once we clean it up with the razor. So it's always better to not overdo it with the trimmers, because you could overdo it once you put the razor, as far as thickness of that slash. All right, you can see I'm cutting with that 1.5 guard, and it don't look like it's cutting nothing, but it is, because you can see the surrounding areas, it's getting lighter. And if you see me pointing a bunch, it's because his dad is a barber, and he just wanted to see me, see my steps, how I cut his son's hair. So I thought that was cool. That was an opportunity to help him out. All right, so now we have a number 1 guard open underneath that. And look, I'm going higher in this area with the birthmark, and it's really not doing much. You're gonna see I'm eventually gonna even use a half guard in that area. So there's no, guys, we're barbers. We're not, we can create miracles sometimes, but sometimes you gotta know when to fold. in this case, I had to fold. I did my best to make that area look as good as possible. And his dad he loved it. He loved the cut. So that tells me that he learned something new, and that the cut exceeded his expectations, I feel like. All right, so this is the part where we go clipper all the way closed, and we open it little by little until it's all the way open. And by the time it's all the way open, the fade should be complete. All right, now it's a quarter of the way open. You can see it's already starting to fade. I need to hire a camera guy, because I was talking to his dad, like teaching him, and I must have just lost focus on keeping the camera focused. This is why I loved using my phone for the longest. All right, now we're tying the sides into the back here. Doing the same steps, and it's just a small area, so it shouldn't take that long. Take a minute or two. Look, this is where I was telling you guys I took the half guard all the way up there, and still. So from this angle, you can see it's faded. You can see it's all right, and at this point, we're just going back and we're detailing areas that I think could use some work. I don't like to take too much time detailing kids because they get impatient and then they don't want to come back no more, and it just becomes a pain for the parents. So I don't detail as much. I try to get through this cut fairly quickly. If you notice, I grab my blending shears. I'm going to grab my blending shears and I'm going to lightly nip through the top. I'm not gonna cut deeply into the hair shafts. I'm just gonna skim through the top just to kind of blend any little lines that you may see, because with coarse straight hair, and guys, coarse, for all my people that don't know what coarse means, coarse is just the diameter of a hair strand. It could be a fine hair strand, it could be a medium thick hair strand, or it could be a very coarse hair strand. And usually when hair is like spiking up, like Asian hair or Latin hair, Latino hair, a lot of times that's coarse straight hair. Okay, you could also have coarse straight hair and it be thin, so you can see right through the scalp, right? There's so many variances of hair textures, but what you want to know about is the difference between wave pattern, okay, the difference between diameter, so coarse, medium, fine, and then hair density, thick hair, thin hair. Okay, I figured I'd give you guys those bars while I bald him out. So anyways, with coarse straight hair, thick coarse straight hair, you'll see a lot of lines through the top unless you cross-check a million times, and we just don't got time for that with this kid, man. He don't want to be in the chair all day, so I went ahead and used my blending shears across the top just to kind of take out any little lines. All right, now we put some clay in his hair, start to style it, because we're gonna line him up. I'm using hairspray because I'm gonna attempt to try to keep that hair out of the way and keep the hair that should be down. Okay, we lined him up, and now we're gonna follow it up with the straight razor. And here in the design, this is what I was telling you guys, like, you can make it a little thicker without making it too thick, because you can be more precise with a razor. And so here we go. I'm pulling at the scalp, and I'm just lightly tapping at the bottom line here, because if you tap too hard, you will make it way too thick, I feel like. And then here in the beginning is the thickest point. And look at that slash. I feel like it came out super sharp. With the fade, that cut looking blurry. Guys, this is the before. Now look at that after. Shout out to my cousin for the beats. If you guys need beats, man, he has a subscription service where you can get 5 beats every month, 5 new beats for very low price. You can check that on the link in the description, guys. This is the after. This was the very difficult side. I'm gonna point at the birthmark, but we did the best that we could. His dad was happy, and that's the cut, guys. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We drop almost daily content, pretty much daily content at this point. Smash the like button, guys. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button.